Right, guys, so this is the episode number 93 from the P Alpha Music Podcast. Again, this is your host, Pablo Vargas. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You're listening to us as well in Rumble, and make sure you do the same. And for those folks that are listening to the Anchor.fm podcast channel, make sure that you just share our content. We're gonna really appreciate it. That's where you're gonna find all my episodes since episode 1 in the Anchor.fm. And of course, if you're working out, you're doing things on the side, you're cooking, you can listen to the podcast as well. This is the episode number 93 from the P Alpha Music Podcast. The title is Beliefs That Hold You Back. Okay, so we're gonna dig a little bit deeper into it like we always do. I'm gonna just give my personal opinion, give the different subjects, and just round it up and close it. Now let's talk about what are beliefs, right? Beliefs are just are like compilations that make you make your thoughts on make your thoughts reality when it comes to who you are as a person, right? It's what hold your sense of who you are today, right? Beliefs are ideas that control the way you behave, not only with yourself but with the other people, and based on those those thoughts or beliefs, right, you determine to just take some decisions and compose yourself, I will say. um, Beliefs that can be encountered not only from family, friends, people that you surround. It can be learned by books and of course videos and so on and so forth. But today I just want to talk about what are those beliefs that can hold you back and why. Just to identify those are very important. A lot of these lists that I just compile myself, you can find them in Google. They're written in hundreds of articles. So what I did is just compile some of the most common ones and some of the ones that you guys can identify with and you can tackle kind of quick. Okay, so let's start with the first one. The first belief that can hold you back is I am not good enough. And this one's very common. The famous I'm not good enough. And why this one's very bad is because it always put you in the back end. On the in the back end when it comes to possibilities. Right? If you're not good enough, that means that you're not good enough for anything. You're not good enough to be a good musician. You're not good enough to be a good painter. You're not good enough to be a good, let's say, a good weightlifter. Anything, a good husband. Because when you say I'm not good enough, it's not only transfer to what are your habits. It's transfer to your mindset, and it can just be spread through your friends and families, right? This one is one I will say one of the most dangerous one, because what it happened is it creates a very false, let's say, expectation from what are your really possibilities in the world. And I think instead of saying I'm not good enough, say I'm more than good enough. Okay, I'm more than that. Believe me, there's nothing in this world that you are not incapable. Okay, nothing. There's some possibilities inside those things, like percentage wise, but there's still that possibility. Okay, whether it's a 50%, it's a 30%, 10%, 5%, or 0.5, but there's still possibility. You are good enough to do those things. So every time that you say yourself you're not good enough, remember you transfer that energy to different activities, not only to those things that you think you are good enough. Okay. Next one. I must please people, boss, family, friends, anybody. You must please them, right? You must just bend your knee to them. You know, you want to make sure they're always happy. Forget about you not being happy, but they always need to be happy. Okay? This one's very bad because it just develop a low self-esteem. If you tend to do this one, that means that you have very low self-esteem and you have little or no belief of who you are and where you stand in this world. Okay, believe are things, remember, that really hold your ground when it comes to situations that are difficult, right? Um, Situations where you might have to just make hard decisions. You might have to just confront people. You might have to be willing to be the person that might be alone. And people that please others, right, tend to just be people that have low self-esteem, right? And when I say please, it's not that, oh, I just told my family we're going to go to a park. We all agree, let's go to a park. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that you don't need to please nobody. You don't need to please your boss to just make sure he's content with you. You don't need to please your family even though you don't want to do certain things, right? I'm just doing these things because of my family. I'm just doing these things because of my boss. I'm just doing these things just to be good with my friends. That's what I'm talking about. Things that you know that you don't want to do, but you want to please them, and that way they can just shut the hell up. Or let's say they're always talking good about you. The thing is that you cannot even control those things, right? If people want to talk bad about you, that's okay. You don't need to please them. People want to talk good about you. It's okay. You don't need to please them. Okay? There's no need for that. Make sure that you hold your time and your self-esteem in the great highest standard. Let's go to the next one. Um, what's that? What the hell I just wrote here? I am a failure, or I'm just lucky. I'm just a failure. Man, I'm never can. I cannot achieve anything. Oh, I'm just lucky. I'm just lucky. Things happen. I just been lucky. It's just feeling sorry for yourself, kind of feel, right? I'm a failure. People should feel sorry for me. I'm a victim of the world. Yeah. Can you just borrow some tears? Can I borrow some tears? Or can you borrow some tears for me? Oh, I'm just lucky. No, I didn't do anything. I'm just really lucky. Those are very bad beliefs, right? The sense of failure, instead of embracing failure and just know that failure is just important for your development, right? You don't do that. You just let yourself just be drowned by it. Okay. The next one is just that same one is lucky. Like, I'm just lucky. I'm just a lucky person. I don't want to bother anybody. I'm just being lucky right now. Instead of just really engaging for the fact that it happens because I made it happen. It happens because I worked years and years and years and months and days and hours to make it happen. Okay? You're not lucky. Things don't happen. Things just don't happen because they happen. It happened because you created that path to happen. Okay? And don't be afraid of failure. So this is a bad belief because you think that when you say I'm a failure, that you go to a deep hole where it's gonna be very hard for someone to pull you back, right? Because now the way you internalize failure is just a block or obstacle where you cannot move forward. Therefore, this is gonna be your life for the rest of the next years, right? Instead of saying, look, you know what, failure is being my best teacher right now, and since it's my best teacher, let me just learn the best I can from that teacher. Okay, I am a failure, or I'm not lucky. Make sure you put that in your list. Okay. Next one. There's not enough time in a day. Okay. There's not enough time in a day. How is it? The millions and the billionaires, they have the same 24 hours that we all have. Well, they manage to do things. How is it that very successful people, very talented people, they find 24 hours enough where they can just manage to do things, but some people don't? Isn't that interesting? The reason is because it's just built in excuses. It's built in a system where excuses are just the one that just manage your life. Since excuses are the main reason why you manage your life, days or years are not even enough for you. Today you will see, today you can say, a day is not enough. Then you will say 2 days is not enough. Then you're gonna say, you know what, a week is not enough. All of a sudden, you know what, let me just wait for the next year. Maybe the next year will be better for me. It never stops. Why? Because it's just ingrained in your system. The system that just derived from what you are today and what is you're becoming tomorrow. Yeah. So make sure you pay attention to the one. If you think like that a day is not enough, there's a belief system. I believe not a system, but I believe that it's holding you down for the fact that you can't move forward or start things because you think there's not enough time. Remember, we all have 24 hours in the day, right? We all have the same time. Some people just decide to just make the best of those times. Okay? Alright. The next one. It must be perfect or I am perfect. I need to be perfect. It must be perfect or I need to be perfect. I remember when I was in Brooklyn, I went to a conference in downtown Brooklyn about how to just write a book. How to write a book and how to manage to publish it and just distribute it, all that stuff, right? And the guy, I don't remember who was hosting the seminar, but the guy gave a nice story that I got identified with. He made this person that has been working in his book for the last 25 years. 25 years, and he had this book, his draft, inside a box. A box that he always had to open with the key and all that stuff, because it was very important. The thing is that he never wanted to publish the book because the book was not perfect enough. Therefore, because it was not perfect enough, it needs some refinement. But there's a problem with that. It's been 24 years of just perfecting the book. So what's the problem? He might never publish the book. So while your competition is publishing 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 books, you're still holding yourself for that first book and just waiting to be perfect. Because it must be perfect. Right? That is the greatest lie and insecurity that you can put in your system. Believing that things need to be perfect. That there should be no mistakes. By the time that you make things perfect, just lives went by and you never learn anything. You only learn from mistakes. Mistakes are presented for you to fix them. That's where you grow. You have to make sure that people judge you for your mistake, and that way you can just grow. You have to expose yourself. You have to publish things. If you listen to my podcast right now and you go a couple days ago, you can see there's an improvement in the way I express myself, in the way I finish my ideas. Why? I went back, I listened to myself, and make sure that I'm learning. Okay? See, I don't see those last episodes as a failure. I see them as a great opportunity for me to learn. Okay? I'm not waiting for be perfect. I just publish my content and make sure that I'm always learning. Instead of you saying, you know what, maybe I just need to take classes how to speak in a damn podcast, or take classes how I should just communicate, or take whatever, right? Instead of just saying, you know what, let me just publish my content and I'm gonna learn on the way. High activity, constant correction. Okay? High activity, constant correction. That's how you really mold yourself to be a better. Because if there's not high activity, there's no momentum, right? And you cannot fix things, right? Think of it as a line, right? For those people that are not seeing me in video, I'm gonna try to do my best to create an image in your guys' head. Imagine a line, right? And that line starts to go up and down. A huge wave, right? Now you see that line, right? You say, you know what? I want to make sure it's as straight as possible, right? But you know what? We have to draw it. that line, and that line is gonna go up and down. So when that line goes up and down, you say, okay, now let me try to make sure I put it as straight as possible. And you try your best to put it, straight as possible, and you're noticing that it's getting there, right? It's getting straighter and straighter and straighter, right? Still a couple bumps here and there, but it's getting straighter and straighter and straighter. But at the end, it's almost perfect. There's one way I could have just achieved that, by constant movement, and just make sure that my line is always as straighter as possible, right? And then by the end, I'm just almost writing a straighter line. But in reality, if I never started, it will never be fixed. Being in that point is just life. You think things need to be perfect for a start, but the problem is that you never notice. And that journey of making sure that my line was straighter, I noticed that there's a lot of things that needed to fix. Distribution, contacting people that can do networking, making sure that I have a second hand to see my books, people that know how to just do ebook format, all those things that just come, right? But as soon as I just got through those curves inside the line, at the end it was almost straighter. That's why you never wait for things to be perfect. The famous next one, I don't have, I don't need, I don't know, I do not, right? I do not have the best confidence. I do not have people that can help me. I don't have the things that I need. I don't is a negative connotation. It has negative energy because it just a state of denial. You're starting a statement with state of denial. So when you're starting a sentence with state of denial, it's always gonna end up in a negative connotation. Okay? And for this one, you should just start getting out of your vocabulary, right? Because remember, words, what we speak, it just go to our subconscious. So having I don't need, I don't have, the help is not here, all those things, it just gets to subconscious, right? In eliminating this kind of vocabulary, it gives you a better understanding of how you can train your subconscious, right, to change your belief system. Okay. And the last one, must stay silent and not challenge anybody. It's not okay to challenge people. It's better to just be in the little corner. Not affect nobody. I don't want to affect nobody. I don't want to challenge anybody. I don't want to be a threat to anybody. I don't want people to feel jealous about me. Listen. This all comes from self-esteem. You need to challenge people. Don't stay silent, right? When you work hard, let your hard work be presented by results. Do not feel apologize or do not apologize for it. Okay? There's nothing to be apologetic for being a great, successful person. You know what? If you think you can handle that job better than the person that he is, hey, challenge him. It is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Challenging people because you can trust yourself to do it, right? And that's go for the first one. Remember, I'm not good enough? No. You come back and say, I'm good enough. Let me just challenge that person. Have the audacity, right, to really believe that things can happen, right? And you might be in a situation that people will hate you and be jealous of you because you have something to be hated and be jealous. Okay? And that is called success. These are the beliefs that will hold you back. Make sure that you listen to these and start, having a conversation with yourself where you be more conscious of how you behave in front of people, and most importantly in your lonely time, I almost say. This was episode number 93 from the P Alpha Music. This was your host, Pablo Vargas. And with this, I will say good night. I'm out.